Assalamu alaikum and welcome to this week's episode of Your Local Jumu'ah. In this series, we visit a masjid every Friday and go all over the country to meet you, our viewers. This week, we are visiting Darul Ummah Redbridge Mosque. The mosque was previously a part of the neighbouring church before being made into a mosque. This is a beautiful symbol of peaceful coexistence in London.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, welcome to Darul Ummah Redbridge. This centre and masjid was established, in fact, on the 1st of April just gone. It was 3 years when we opened the doors to the Muslim community of Redbridge. So we are privileged to be able to provide the services for our local community. It's a new masjid and centre. Obviously, the activities are being developed. And I'm pleased to say, since we've opened up, particularly since your last visit to Darul Ummah Redbridge, we have done further works to the front of the building, and obviously to the side there is also space now for people to pray. It's becoming more and more busier, and that's even after so many masjids being opened up recently. So it's a growing population in Redbridge. The Muslim population is growing, the services needed by the Muslim community is increasing, and we are privileged, certainly from Darul Islam and members of Darul Ummah Redbridge, to be able to serve the local community. So I will now just take you around the building and show you some of the other parts of the building, inshallah. Now we are in the main hall. The capacity is roughly about 300 people. The masjid and community centre is obviously open to members of the public, the Muslim community. We hold 5 daily prayers, and obviously Jummah, it gets quite busy. There are other activities that we run for the community centre. On Thursdays, we hold an elderly forum where members of the community come and talk, eat, and learn about Islam and various other topics, and obviously get to know each other. On Friday evenings, we have regular, and we've been doing it for many months now, regular tea gathering. And again, the main purpose of the tea gathering is to encourage the community to know each other, support each other, especially in times of need. We are in the women's room. This area is dedicated for our sisters. It gets quite busy during Jummah prayers, and it was extremely busy during Tarawih prayers during the month of Ramadan. In fact, we have to use our office room to accommodate the sisters. This is fully set up. Behind us, as you can see, there's a screen that connects to the main hall, so they can see and obviously listen to the khutbah and various other programs that we run from this centre. We have also sort of provided them with separate wudu facilities and so on. So we strongly encourage, obviously as part of the organisation Darul Ummah Redbridge and Darul Islam, we strongly encourage our sisters to participate. So we're in the outside area now, brothers and sisters, and this is particularly useful when we have holidays and children are off school. The main masjid overflows and we have to make arrangements outside. It's going to get quite busy today because of Easter holidays. We now actually run 2 Jummah prayers, and both the Jummah prayers, the main hall gets full. So it just shows the increase in demand from the Muslim population of Redbridge, and obviously it's a service that we are privileged to be providing for our local community. We will now be going to the main hall shortly to do our Jummah prayer. Assalamu alaikum.
In the khutbah, Imam Abidul Haq Ibrahim will speak about the story of Musa and Khidr and what we can learn from them.
Respected elders, my dear brothers and sisters, we thank Allah for allowing us to gather in this blessed day of Jum'ah in His house. In today's khutbah, I am going to briefly share with you some lessons from the story of Musa and Khidr alayhim as-salam, or Khadir alayhim as-salam, from the story of Surah Al-Kahf. As you all know, that Surah Al-Kahf is one of the surahs that we are commanded to recite very frequently. We are supposed to recite Surah Al-Kahf every Friday. So every Friday we are supposed to go through these lessons. These lessons are so much essential to our everyday lives that we need to be connected to these lessons to face life. We need to understand these lessons by heart and regularly remind each other to face the struggles of this life. To cut the story short, Musa alayhi salam was once giving khutbah, and someone from the gathering asked Musa alayhi salam, "O Musa, who is the most knowledgeable person on earth?" And him being a prophet, he assumed he was the most knowledgeable. He said, "I am." Then Allah sent down Jibreel to inform him that he was not the most knowledgeable person, that there was someone else whom Allah gave a special knowledge from Himself. وَآتَيْنَاهُ رَحْمَةً مِّنْ عِنْدِنَا وَعَلَّمْنَاهُ مِن لَدُنَّا عِلْمًا. We gave him special knowledge from ourselves. There was someone among the servants of Allah other than Musa to whom Allah gave knowledge, a special kind of knowledge. مِن لَدُنَّا, special kind of knowledge. مِن لَدُنَّا means a special kind of knowledge that cannot be acquired by learning. It has to be gifted from Allah. So Musa alayhi salam is told that there's someone else who is more knowledgeable than you. So Musa alayhi salam wants to visit him, to learn from him. So Musa alayhi salam goes to him, I'm cutting the story short, and meets him and tells him that I want to follow you so that you teach me from what you have been taught, from the wisdom. Khidr alayhi salam says, you will not be able to bear with me patiently. Musa alayhi salam insists that I will be patient with you. So he says, okay, on the condition that you won't ask me of anything until I clarify to you, I make mention of it to you. Musa alayhi salam agrees. And then they set out on a journey. 3 incidents are mentioned. 3 incidents happen. Musa alayhi salam and Khidr alayhi salam. The first incident, Musa alayhi salam and Khidr alayhi salam, they get on a boat. They get on a ship. That ship belonged to a group of fishermen who were poor, struggling to make a living. So as soon as they got on the boat, and Musa and Khidr alayhim as-salam, they got to the down of the boat, Khidr alayhi salam took an axe and he bored a hole, he created a hole into the boat. Musa alayhi salam, shocked at this, he says, why did you do this? Do you really want the people of this boat to drown? Khidr alayhi salam reminds him, did I not tell you not to ask me of anything until I make mention of it to you? And he's like, I'm sorry, I forgot. Excuse me for this time. So they get out of the boat, and after a while, they come to a place, they find a child, a lad. And when they find the lad, Khidr alayhi salam executes that child. Now Musa alayhi salam, seeing this, he exploded. He says, did you just kill someone innocent for no crime he did? Did you just murder an innocent soul? Musa alayhi salam, remember, he made the promise that he would not ask of anything. It's not that he forgot, but he just couldn't bear it, that an innocent child being killed in front of him. So he exploded. Khidr alayhi salam told him, did I not tell you that you won't be able to bear with me patiently? So Musa alayhi salam says, okay, this is the last time. If I question you about anything, that's going to be the end. We'll part our ways. After that, they go to a village. They enter a village. As they enter a village, and they are both hungry, and they have no money with them to buy food. So when they enter the village, it is among the tradition in Islam and also tradition of all the respectable communities in the past to host guests. If you're a traveler, you have the right on the people of the community to host you for at least 1 night and 1 day. And according to some scholars, 3 nights and 3 days. So they wanted to be hosted. They were hungry, they had no money with them, so they were hoping that someone would feed them. But the people of that village, of that city, was very miserly, arrogant, selfish kind of people. No one hosted them. So as they were moving out of the village, Khidr alayhi salam, he saw a wall, it was almost falling off. So what he did was, he voluntarily went there and fixed the wall. So Musa alayhi salam says, okay, you just did a favor to these miserly kind of people. You could have asked reward for it. You could have asked a payment for it. At least we could get ourselves some food. So Khidr alayhi salam says, that's it. I have given you enough excuses, and we'll have to part our ways now. And before Khidr alayhi salam goes away, he says, okay, now I am going to explain to you the things that you were surprised and shocked about. I'm going to explain you the reason and wisdoms behind these. He says, regarding the first incident, when both of them got on the boat, and Khidr alayhi salam bored a hole in the boat, he says, أما السفينة فكانت لمساكين يعملون في البحر. The ship belonged to a group of poor people, poor fishermen. They work in the sea. And a tyrant king was after all the good ships, all the good, perfect ships that was in the area, in the docks. He would take them. He would take them without any payment. He would just snatch them. So that's why I wanted to make it flawed. I wanted to create a hole in it to make it flawed, for it to have a fault in it, so that their boat is saved. وَأَمَّا الْغُلَامُ. And as for the boy who was executed, فَكَانَ أَبَوَاهُ مُؤْمِنَيْنِ. The parents of that child was two pious people, believers. They were believers and pious people. فَخَشِينَا أَن يُرْهِقَهُمَا طُغْيَانًا وَكُفْرًا. So I was afraid that when this child grows up, this child will become a cause of distress for them because of his tyranny and disbelief. This child will grow up to be a disbeliever. This child will grow up to hurt his parents. And as for the wall in the village, Khidr alayhi salam says, beneath that wall, there was a treasure that belonged to 2 orphans. The treasure belonged to 2 orphans in that city. And the father of those two orphans was a pious man. And that's why my master, your master, Allah, wanted these orphans to grow up and then find their treasure and then find their wealth. And all this was a mercy from Allah. وَمَا فَعَلْتُهُ عَنْ أَمْرِي. I did not do it, I did not do any of this from my own will. All of this was from the mercy of Allah. My dear brothers and sisters, in the first incident, we see that the boat of some poor fishermen is damaged. It seemed to them that the only means of their livelihood is now at risk. What are they going to do? But little did they know that what is what seems to drown them, the hole in the boat, was actually a means for their salvation. When the boat reached the dock, all the boats, all the ships in the dock was confiscated by the king, except for the boat of these poor men. And what happened next? These poor men, they could fix the boat. They would be able to fix the boat naturally. It's a hole, they could fix it with a plank. When they fixes it afterwards, what happens? They are the only boat in that dock. So, when everyone is out of business, they are going to do monopoly from the next day. They are going to be the most successful fishermen from the next day. But think about how they felt when they first saw that hole. They must have felt that this is the end of the world. What are we going to do? This is our means of livelihood. How could this have happened to us? But there was wisdom in that. So sometimes, like Khidr alayhi salam says, I wanted to make it defective. I wanted to make that boat defective so that it is saved from the tyrant king. Sometimes Allah makes you and I, Allah makes us defective. Allah causes a defect to be within us in order to save us, not to deprive us. Allah lets us go through, lets us suffer a smaller harm to avert a larger harm, a bigger harm away from us. Sometimes it is from the harm of other people, a physical harm, a financial harm, and at the least, sometimes it is averting evil eye away from you. Let us be grateful to Allah when we know the wisdoms of the accidents we go through, of the calamities we go through. And let us be grateful to Allah when we don't see the answers, when we don't know the wisdoms. There will be a million incidents in our lives. We will not see the wisdoms. But through these stories in the Quran that we are being told, we are being taught that Allah loves us, even if we don't understand the wisdoms behind everything that we have to go through.
We had a chat with the local community to see what they had to say about the masjid.
Alhamdulillah, I found the khutbah to be very beneficial. So today there was a khutbah from stories that we learned from Surah Kahf. Of course, you got to read it every day on Friday, so it was very beneficial because it's stories that we have to implement in our day-to-day lives. So today was about a story where there was a prophet that was more knowledgeable than Prophet Musa alayhi salam. And mashallah, Prophet Musa alayhi salam went on a journey with him and he kept on questioning what decisions he was making. That decision that seemed to be bad. For example, he killed a child that seemed to be innocent at the time. But Allah guided the Prophet, Allah instructed the Prophet to do so. And instead it was a way of Allah showing mercy through a way that we couldn't see. Because this child would have gone on to be a tyrant, be a detriment to his parents, be a kafir. But mashallah, through the guidance of Allah, through Allah's mercy, it was a blessing in disguise. So I think that the lessons that we learned here were very beneficial.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers. Basically, I'm new here. One of my friends lives here, so I just come to visit it. I actually live in Hackney and I work volunteer in a Shahpuran Mosque. This is the first time I'm volunteering in Redbridge because I like to expand my knowledge with these brothers. They're very kind brothers. I've come here a couple of times and I enjoyed my time with these brothers, and I even decided to do Jummah today, first time, and decided to also volunteer for these brothers because I think it's a very good project that they've got here, and I'm hoping that they expand in future as well. As I can see, and as you guys can see, there's not much space for the first Jama'ah. They need a second Jama'ah. Inshallah, hopefully they can expand in future.
Assalamu alaikum. It's been a pleasure to listen to the khutbah. It was very religious. He said some good stories about some of the great prophets. Today we discussed Musa and his achievements. He also mentioned the plight of the Palestinian people and asked to help us. I found this mosque by accident. I've been living here for so long, I didn't know that it exists. And suddenly during the Ramadan we discovered it and I've been happy. Now, I'd like to say something about the funding. This mosque is not properly funded because, as you know, in this country, the Bangladeshi community is the most underprivileged.
We like this mosque because it's next to our house and everyone's friendly here.
I like this mosque because it's very nice, it's very big, and it looks very beautiful. It's very organized and clean. It doesn't have that much dirt, and there's so much space to pray. And it's very fun, and there's a lot of friendly people. People are kind, and some things are I don't know how to explain it. And everyone should come to this mosque on how beautiful things and on how much space it has, and on how nice the front looks.
So I'm a volunteer here since the very beginning. I remember opening up the center on the 1st of Ramadan 2022. And Alhamdulillah, the center has been growing. There's more and more musallis. And we try our best to be as welcoming as possible to the musallis coming from all over Redbridge. On Fridays, we have tremendous amount of musallis, and we have to have two jamaats. First jamaat, obviously, as you've seen, full holiday was extremely full. And second jamaat is also relatively full. So Alhamdulillah, it's a blessing.
In our khutbah today, we spoke about trusting in Allah. We discussed this topic through the story of Musa and Khidr alayhi salam. This surah, Surah Al-Kahf, in which this story comes, we are supposed to recite this surah every Friday. And through these timeless lessons, these profound lessons that we have in this surah, and especially in this story of Musa and Khidr alayhi salam, we learn how to trust in Allah. We learn how to trust in Allah when we don't see any answers. And I feel that this concept of trusting in Allah is very essential. In addition to the regular services of our mosques, we are actively involved in providing educational gatherings to our community. We are doing weekly tafsir sessions in English and in Bengali. We have Friday tea gatherings to engage with the community and to build harmony. We counsel regarding issues that they have to deal regarding to their deen or even their family issues. So I believe that our mosque is not just a mosque. It's the hub of our community. It's the heart of our community. It binds us together, and we have been trying to engage our community at all levels, from the youth to the elderly, not just providing religious services, also providing all kinds of community services that a community hub is supposed to provide.
Darul Ummah Redbridge Mosque has done great groundwork in establishing this masjid in 2022. The community is growing with many masjids around the area, the demand is high, and the masjid is helping in this noble cause. We really enjoyed meeting the people of Redbridge and look forward to seeing you all in the next episode. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.